All praise to you, gracious Creator. You have gathered us in this university community to praise you by our words and our works. Bless the University of Alberta, which seeks to teach whatsoever things are true. Bless the students and professors, the non-academic staff and support staff, those who volunteer on the University Board of Governors, the Senate, and the Alumni Association, and all who promote sound education in our community. We ask that those who leave here today, blessed with their degrees, may be given grace and strength to serve in our global home. May we grow in wisdom and grace before you and all your people. May this university always be a home of truth and wisdom, of faith and goodwill toward all. Please be seated. Welcome to the University of Alberta on this very special day. My name is Ralph Young. I have the privilege of serving as the Chancellor of the University of Alberta, and on behalf of the entire university community, I'm honored to welcome you to this convocation. To begin, I wish to acknowledge and honor all Indigenous peoples, including the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations of Treaty 6, and to acknowledge the traditional lands on which we are gathered today. I also wish to acknowledge and honor the immigrants from many nations whose contributions have added to our rich heritage. Our university is blessed with a diverse and inclusive culture which is built on the legacy of all who have come before us. Today, we pledge to uphold that legacy as we continue to pursue whatsoever things are true. This is a time of great joy and thanksgiving, and we are glad so many friends and family members could join us as we celebrate this very special convocation on the centenary of the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry, one of Canada's most recognized and acknowledged faculties of medicine and dentistry. I know that our lives are busy, more so than it ever seems, and I'd like to offer a word of ancient wisdom from Chief Crowfoot of the Siksika Nation, who once said, and I quote, "What is life? It is a flash of a firefly in the night. It is the breath of a buffalo in the wintertime. It is a little shadow that runs across the grass and loses itself in the sunset." So there is real value in slowing our pace and stopping once in a while to celebrate something truly important. Your graduation from the University of Alberta is such an occasion, and we are honored to share it with you today. Joining the celebration on the stage today is our President, Dr. Indira Samarasekera, Mr. Don Fleming, Board of Governors representative. We are privileged to welcome Dr. Lincoln Chen, who has accepted our invitation to receive an honorary doctorate of science. An honorary doctorate recognizes inspiring role models and leaders, celebrates extraordinary achievements, or recognizes remarkable service to society. I'm also equally delighted to welcome on stage Vice President Student Services, Grant MacEwan University, Ms. Catherine Heslop, and Mr. David Dorward, MLA for Edmonton Gold Bar. Also on the stage with us today are senior staff, deans, and professors of the Academy. You'll note that we're all dressed in formally in academic robes to mark the importance of this ceremony. The tradition of convocation, a gathering together of all qualified degree holders in a university community, dates back almost 700 years. Generations and generations of scholars have walked in your footsteps. But in spite of all the history and tradition within today's ceremony, our convocation today is really not about the past, it's really about your future. Convocation is about you, our graduates, and that promise of the future which you hold in your hands. This is a day to celebrate, and I hope you will enjoy it. I would like to start by inviting greetings from our Board of Governors, from Mr. Don Fleming.
Eminent Chancellor, Mr. Ralph Young, President Indira Samarasekera, distinguished guests, graduands, families, and friends. I'm very honored to be here today to bring you greetings on behalf of the Board of Governors of the University of Alberta. This is a very special ceremony at any time, but today, in addition to celebrating the accomplishments of this graduating class, we also have the opportunity to celebrate the centenary of the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry. Convocation is a rare and an important time. It's a time when the entire university community gathers not only to acknowledge the achievements of our students, but also the efforts of those who've worked so diligently to ensure their success. Today, you will be graduating from an institution that is recognized as one of Canada's leading universities and ranks amongst the top 100 in the world. Indeed, we have much to celebrate, but today we especially gather to celebrate you, the graduating class of 2013. We're confident that the knowledge you have gained through hard work and dedication will serve you well as you apply that education to the opportunities and challenges of our complex society. By completing your programs and studies, each of you has achieved a rare level of excellence, which will forever be recognized in your university degree. And now, your university has the privilege of acknowledging your success. The Board of Governors salutes you today, and we hope this ceremony will be remembered as a highlight in a very full and satisfying career. We join with family and friends in offering our sincerest congratulations and our very best wishes in all your future endeavors. Congratulations to each of you, and to those who have encouraged and supported you and who have helped to make it possible for you to be here today. It's now my privilege to introduce Mr. David Dorward, MLA for Edmonton Gold Bar.
Thank you, Mr. Fleming. Chancellor Ralph Young, President Dr. Samara Sekera, Board of Governors, faculty members, staff, students, family and friends, ladies and gentlemen, and to the faculty, happy 100th anniversary. My early congratulations to Dr. Lincoln Chen for earning an honorary degree for your contributions to international health and development. It's so pleasing to be able to be here today and to especially watch the graduates in front of us, but also to honor honorary recipients. I'm pleased to bring greetings on behalf of Premier Alison Redford and Deputy Premier and Minister of Enterprise and Advanced Education, Thomas Lukaszuk, and in fact all of my colleagues at the Alberta Legislature. I stand here today as the blessed one that's able to come over. We tend to argue just a little bit about who gets to come and do this, this wonderful engage in this wonderful experience that I'm engaging in. I'm honored to join all of you as we congratulate, all of you indeed, everybody here, as we congratulate this wonderful class 2013 on reaching this special day and being here. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter in your life, one that is filled with promise, infinite possibility, and I really mean that especially today, infinite possibility and great promise. The eminent Chancellor and I share a common profession. We're both chartered accountants. Our ideals of what professionalism means would match up, but also be somewhat different, I'm sure. You as graduates will all be professionals. Do you know what that word means? As you contemplate that word for you, I would like you to consider the following. Let the core value of your profession be the practical application of your ideals for the benefit of your fellow citizens. Alberta needs you. We'll grow by a city the size of Red Deer in the next decade. Rural Alberta needs you. Rural Alberta is smaller than it used to be. You can still enjoy rural Alberta more than you used to be able to because the world is so much smaller and communications and travel is so much easier. Consider where you will bless mankind. I know that you will. It's through your hard work and initiative that you have reached this amazing milestone today. Congratulations to you, the graduating class of 2013.
Class of 2013, my warmest congratulations to you all. We are also celebrating the 100 years of medicine in the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry. Many distinguished alumni have been educated here at the U of A. These include Lon Terrell, former Dean of Medicine who developed the first oral antiviral drug treatment for hepatitis B. Ray Rajot, founder and director of internationally renowned islet transplantation group. Anthony Fields, a distinguished oncologist. Takwa Mack, internationally renowned for identifying and cloning T-cell receptor genes. Brett Finlay, recognized for groundbreaking work in infectious diseases. Anne Hayes, a pioneering spirit who worked to provide educational opportunities to marginalized girls in Africa. Joseph B. Martin, former Chancellor of University of California, San Francisco, and former Dean of Medicine at Harvard, renowned for his work on better understanding the genetics of neurological diseases. You graduate from an institution and a faculty of great achievements. I look out over this auditorium and am filled with pride at what you have accomplished at the University of Alberta. This is a day for celebrating your success, for reflecting upon all that you have learned, for acknowledging all those hours that you spent in the classroom, the laboratory, the clinic, or the hospital. Be proud of your achievements. Be thankful to your parents and families for all the support they've given you. Your families are extremely proud of you. You have no idea the sense of relief they are experiencing. A piece of advice, now would be a good time to ask for some money. Let me begin my address with a story. In 1873, a young Canadian woman by the name of Mary Irwin was born in Elora, Ontario. Unusual for the time, she graduated with a medical degree from the Toronto Medical College for Women. Unfortunately for her, women were not allowed to easily practice medicine in Canada. So she decided to become a missionary and traveled to New York, where she met a Ceylonese doctor named Dr. Samuel Ratnam, whom she subsequently married. In 1896, Dr. Irwin came to Ceylon, now known as Sri Lanka, my birthplace, and she came there as a medical missionary. The Sri Lanka that Dr. Mary Irwin, then Mary Ratnam, encountered troubled her a great deal because women had few rights and limited access to education. Literacy rates for women were less than 3%. Mary Ratnam discovered how she could make a difference by improving conditions for rural and urban women in Sri Lanka. Her activism in conservative colonial Ceylon included women's right to vote, health issues, including the first family planning clinic. She mentored the first generation of female doctors. She introduced women's institutes, the Lanka Mahila Samati movement, to promote literacy, learning, and opportunities for women. In 1958, at the age of 85, Mary Ratnam was awarded the prestigious Asian Nobel Prize, called the Ramon Magsaysay Award, for her outstanding contribution to public service. There is no question that Mary Ratnam's pioneering contributions to Sri Lanka rippled through generations and touched many lives. When Dr. Ratnam passed away, the October 1962 Times of Ceylon said, and I quote, "Canada has sent many daughters to Ceylon, but the greatest gift was Dr. Mary Ratnam, who inspired and awakened the women of Ceylon," unquote. Now, Dr. Mary Ratnam's life and mine are inextricably linked in most remarkable ways. You see, Dr. Samuel Ratnam, Mary's husband, was my great-grand-uncle. Moreover, my father spent several years as an adolescent in the home of Mary Ratnam when his parents were stationed in India. My father would speak fondly about Aunt May, as she was called in the family, whom I met when growing up. What I did not know at the time was what a profound influence she had on him. So when, as a teenager, I bravely announced that I was going to become an engineer, my mother and father did not say, "Have you lost your cotton-picking mind? Women don't become engineers." Instead, they encouraged me to pursue my dream. The Sri Lanka I grew up in had been transformed for the better because of the pioneering work of people like Mary Ratnam. She saw the right clearly. She lived a life of consequence. She lived a good life. Today, as you graduate from the University of Alberta, I challenge all of you to live a good life. And what will that entail? In our society, we tend to equate a good life with an easy life, a life of quickly achieved professional success, personal happiness, and financial security. While it is my hope that you experience all of these good things, I want to turn this notion on its head. Today, I want to suggest to you that a good life is not an easy life, but an uneasy one. A good life makes you uncomfortable. It includes adversities. It presents you with difficulties that take all of your knowledge, ingenuity, and energy to solve. It tests your fortitude and teaches you the value of failure. Seeing adversity as a positive force is out of fashion in our society right now. But do not underestimate yourself. Today, you receive a degree from the University of Alberta. If we have done our job well, we have challenged you to work very hard, to stretch yourself intellectually and creatively. We've asked you to get out of your comfort zone and forced you to ask tough questions of yourself. You graduate at an exciting time in the practice of health, whether it be medicine, dentistry, or other healthcare specialties, one that is not without its challenges. Gardner Morse, writing in the Harvard Business Review, speaks of 10 healthcare innovations that will transform medicine. Hospitals will increasingly require healthcare providers to follow strict protocols for procedures that benefit from routinization. Healthcare will turn to behavioral economics to help patients. Everything from weight loss incentives to peer pressure to promote wellness and change how health practitioners approach patients. Volume-related incentives will be replaced by payment that rewards outcomes. Secure web connections will offer consumers access to their lab results, enable them to renew their prescriptions, make appointments, and communicate with healthcare providers. Evidence-based decisions will become the gold standard, along with increased accountability for wellness. Stem cell research will lead to treatments for cancer, multiple sclerosis, spinal cord injuries, and even enable growth of organs. Virtual care will become more prevalent, from remote monitoring of blood pressure, heart rate, to transfer of health statistics. Genetic profiling will enable healthcare providers to tailor treatments to be more effective. Surgical robots will deliver better value and offer exciting new potential. Your challenge as practitioners in this new age will be to use not just your skill, but to develop wisdom and good judgment at a time when there is a dizzying array of new technologies and treatments, accompanied by rising healthcare costs and an aging population. Your generation is much more equitable, open, and tolerant than mine or your parents. You can be the generation that comes up with the solutions we need to solve the disparities in access to healthcare, not just in Canada, but around the world. You can be the generation that sets the standards for making the tough, ethical decisions around quality of life and access to the right kind of care at the end of life. Will it be easy? No. Will it take enormous amounts of determination and energy to do the work that needs doing? Yes, it will. But this is what it means to lead a good life. Today, you join a family of U of A alumni who stand 275,000 strong. This family now includes today's honorary degree recipient, Dr. Lincoln Chen. Throughout the history of our university, graduates and honorary degree recipients have been inspired by the two fundamental values on which the U of A is built: the pursuit of truth, qua cum que vera, and the call to use your knowledge for the uplifting of the whole people. We need you to live a good life. I know that you can and that you will. A good life is not shaped by what you are given, but by what it demands from you and how you use your gifts to respond to those demands. Lived well, it will bring you great joy and enormous satisfaction. J.K. Rowling of Harry Potter fame called on Harvard's graduating class of 2008 to live a good life in her Convocation address. I conclude with her words, and I quote, "Tomorrow, I hope that even if you remember not a single word of mine, you remember those of Seneca, an old Roman I met when I fled down the classics corridor in search of ancient wisdom. He said, 'As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters.' I wish you all very good lives. Congratulations."
A University of Alberta honorary degree is intended to recognize and honor outstanding individuals whose significant achievements and contributions are worthy of the university's highest honor. The awarding of an honorary degree is intended to encourage a standard of excellence which is exemplary to students and to society. While fields of endeavor and accomplishments vary widely, each recipient is truly unique, and each recipient, by accepting an honorary degree, brings honor to this great university. The vision of the University of Alberta is to inspire the human spirit through outstanding achievements in learning, discovery, and citizenship in a creative community, building one of the world's great universities for the public good.
Good morning. My name is Doug Miller. I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of the University of Alberta, I am honored to introduce Dr. Lincoln C Chen for the honorary degree of Doctor of Science. Dr. Chen has dedicated his skills to fostering collaboration and building capacities around the world. He began his medical career studying cholera physiology and epidemiology at the Cholera Research Laboratory in Bangladesh. Relief work during a cyclone in 1970 expanded his view on health issues to include social equity through efforts to alleviate poverty and promote health, education, and social development. As professor at Harvard School of Public Health, Dr. Chen founded Harvard Global Equity Initiative and has co-chaired the Joint Learning Initiative on Human Resources for Health. Born in Jingjai Province, China, he has spent the last 5 years as president of the China Medical Board, a private foundation seeking to advance health in China and Asia through strengthening medical, nursing, and public health research and education. A former executive vice president of the Rockefeller Foundation, Dr. Chen has also served as an advisor for the World Bank and the World Health Organization, including a role as the Director General's Special Envoy on Human Resources for Health. His work as co-chair of the Independent Global Commission on Education of Health Professionals for the 21st Century, published by The Lancet in 2010, has inspired students, faculty, and health professionals here in Alberta and around the world. Dr. Chen's life and his work serve as a powerful reminder of the ability of one individual to become a catalyst for positive social change. Eminent Chancellor, it is with great pride and respect that I bring you Lincoln C Chen.
Lincoln C. Chen, in recognition of outstanding contributions as a leading health academic, building community capacity around the world, I desire to confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Science and to express the hope that we shall continue to be enriched by your wise counsel for many years to come. Congratulations.
Good morning. Eminent Chancellor Ralph Young, President of Alberta, Madame Indira Samarasekera, Don Fleming, the representative of the Board of Governors, Medical Dean Doug Miller, and faculty, students, friends, and colleagues. First and most important, congratulations to the graduates in this centennial year. Second, to all of us for being here at this centennial celebration. It is indeed a great occasion. 105 years ago, Henry Marshall Torrey founded the University of Alberta, and 100 years ago, the medical faculty started in 1913. That was the same year that oil was discovered in Turner Valley near Edmonton, and the same year that the transatlantic railway connected the two coasts of Canada. Over the next 100 years, the medical school in Alberta has contributed greatly to health. Indeed, Canada's lifespan doubled to 81 years over the last 100 years. By the way, 3 years longer than those living south of the border. And it continues to grow 2 months every year. This means that every year that we survive, we gain statistically an extra 2 months of life. Knowledge and its application is at the heart of these gains. And 103 years ago, Flexner, in his report, revolutionized medicine by introducing a science-based curriculum to university-based medical schools. Alberta was one of the pioneers to model the Flexner curriculum throughout North America. Indeed, Alberta received one of the first and largest grants in 1923 from the Rockefeller Foundation for doing the Flexner Revolution and leading it. My foundation, the China Medical Board, is 1 year younger. We were established in 1914, not 1913, but by the same Rockefellers who asked us to establish the Flexner model in China, the famous Peking Union Medical College. So we are together. You graduates have been blessed with the best education tested over a century of health achievements to embark on a journey of a second century, but in a world that's vastly different than Flexner. So my advice is threefold. 1, travel. 2, apply. And 3, energize your professionalism. Travel and learn from this enormously rich and diverse world in which you will be living and practicing. Apply your knowledge with innovation, and yes, take risks to fail, because with failure you can succeed. And energize and animate your professionalism with social passion. St. Augustine said, "The world is a book. Those who do not travel read only a single page." I am a Chinese-American immigrant, and I thought I was going to spend my whole lifelong practice in one single page, the United States. But I married a lovely woman, the daughter of Presbyterian missionaries, and she wanted to return to her childhood in India. So after the Mass General Hospital, I applied to the National Institute of Health to study cholera in Bangladesh. Harvard did not teach me what cholera was even a disease. And my professors thought, and they were aghast, that I was giving up a promising academic career. As soon as I got off the plane, I learned one of my first life lessons from traveling: the feeling of being illiterate. I could not read the signs. I could not transact a purchase. Those kinds of lessons began what I learned in life, which is that you receive many curveballs, not straight fastballs down in the baseball jargon. In November 1970, a powerful cyclone struck Bangladesh. A tsunami-like 20-foot wave swept across the southern coast, killing an estimated 500,000 people. My wife, the missionary, said, "You've got to go. You're a doctor. Do something." I was mixing test tubes and doing clinical research, and I said, "Who, me?" So I took Yogi Berra's advice: when you come to the fork in the road, take it. I got on a helicopter and I went to Mampura Island, 2 meters above the sea in the Bay of Bengal. The survivors were dazed, and rice stalk, which normally is on the ground, were hanging high from the branches in the trees. We found a little spot of grass and we began to pitch a pup tent. We were going to be doing relief work when a high school student came by and said, "That's not a very good place." And we began to think, is he a smart aleck, or is he trying to earn a little money, or what's going on here? He later explained that when high tide comes, you'll be swimming in your tent. That's when I learned that the most modern technology could take me to one of the most backward islands, and yet it was know-how, local know-how, that saved me from a wet embarrassment. Being a newly minted doctor, I wanted to provide medical aid, so I announced my services. And a huge queue of people lined up. No women, because it was a Muslim society, and no children, because they had been swept away in the cyclone. After 20 patients, I stopped. I became powerless. All of my Harvard training was powerlessness because I did not have all of the accompanying diagnostic, therapeutic, and other paraphernalia of which I was accustomed to working on with diseases that were entirely different than those that I had been exposed to in Boston. To be effective, knowledge must be applied and suited to the local context. You graduates will be joining a global profession of 9 million doctors, sharing a common knowledge base and a core ethical belief in your profession. The global professionalism as part of global citizenship is not only smart, but essential for you into the future. I've had the privilege of applying knowledge in the United States and across the breadth of Asia, Bangladesh, India, Southeast Asia, and more recently, returning to the country of my birth, China. And I've had the privilege of working with universities, foundations, and especially volunteering with non-governmental organizations like CARE and BRAC, which is, by the way, a Bangladeshi NGO that is the world's largest. I've witnessed many innovations. I've also seen many failures and flops. Don't be afraid of failure because ultimately they can generate success. My happiest days were sitting under the tropical sun going by boat down the Meghna River, which is one of the 3 Gangetic river systems in the Indian subcontinent, going to a rural field station where we were studying the application of oral rehydration therapy, what Lancet called arguably one of the most important medical discoveries of the 20th century. By just drinking the right combination of salt and sugar in water, people could prevent and save lives by preventing the dehydrating, devastating effects of severe diarrheas like cholera. But how does a Bengali villager mix this solution? The World Health Organization said only one way. You get it into a plastic packet, you put it into a pre-mixed amount of water, and then you mix it and you can drink it and it's not dangerous. But most of the Bangladeshi households couldn't afford a packet and they didn't have them in the stores in the first place. So BRAC, this NGO, devised the Lobang Gur method of oral rehydration therapy. Lobang, which is salt, a 3-finger pinch of salt taken by the mother, Gur, which is brown sugar, a fistful of brown sugar, put into a ½ liter of water. How did you know it was a ½ liter? Because the workers went into the homes and marked the cooking pots at the ½ liter mark. And the women mixed the Lobang Gur into the cooking pot, and that homemade brew worked just fine. How do you get it to now all the mothers in this country? Well, over time, BRAC was able to get oral rehydration to 150 million people. This non-governmental organization was successful because of 2 reasons. One is it was bold and ambitious, reaching every mother in a population of 150 million people, which I calculate is almost 5 times the population of Canada. And it had double motivation: the mother who wanted to save her child and the health worker who wanted to get paid, because BRAC paid the health worker only for mother's education. 1 month after the educational visit, a 10% sample survey was done of the mothers, and the workers were paid according to how successful they were in educating the mothers that were contacted. And BRAC eventually covered the entire country. Now, based out of Boston, I travel half-time flying around the world, mostly to Asia and especially China, which is undoubtedly the emerging center of the 21st century. In the foyer of the Shanghai Medical College hangs a portrait of Norman Bethune, the Canadian who went to China in search for his professional passion. Norman Bethune died in 1939 at the age of 49 from septicemia when he cut his fingers during surgery. He had been up all night consecutively and was exhausted from treating troops wounded during the Japanese War. Mao Zedong coined and eulogized what he called the Bethune spirit: utter devotion to others without any thought of self. I cannot claim martyrdom, but I can claim acquiring a passionate professionalism, providing emergency relief after disasters, speaking up when I witnessed genocide in Bangladesh, supporting non-governmental organizations like BRAC, running a pediatric clinic in rural Bangladesh for malnourished children, most of whom were girls that were not as well preferred as boys, and promoting health and gender equity. These professional passions did not come to me automatically or easily. I am not by nature a social agitator or activist. They came to me from traveling, from listening, from learning, and from engaging in applying knowledge to solve problems in extraordinarily challenging social contexts. I've been blessed by, and I hope you too will find, what Theodore Roosevelt called the ultimate gift. Far and away, the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. Congratulations to the graduates, and Godspeed in your quest for the opportunity to work hard at work worth doing. Thank you very much.
Dr. Lincoln Chen, thank you for your words and your wisdom. When we were searching for this 100th anniversary year of the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry, we wanted to achieve one of the world's great leaders in healthcare and its delivery, and we're very honored that we have chosen the right person in Dr. Lincoln Chen. It's been wonderful for our students to hear your perspective, to share this stage with you, and to learn many of the lessons that you have learned over your lifetime. To commemorate this honorary degree, we would now like to have Dr. Lincoln Chen sign our university honor roll. Thank you, Dr. Chen. You're now officially one of our family. And now, graduands, it's your turn. As the name of each graduand is called to cross the stage, I will formally admit you to your degrees, and we will have an opportunity to congratulate you. When we shake hands, that will be the moment that your degree is conferred and you will become a graduate. On your journey across the stage, you will also walk past the University of Alberta Mace, which you'll see to my left. Centuries ago, the mace was a symbol of authority over life and death. Today, this mace represents the life-changing power of knowledge and the importance of our university and our graduates in our community. Please enjoy your day, and I look forward to greeting you on stage.
The candidates for degrees will please rise. and follow on page 5 of the Convocation program. Eminent Chancellor and President, on behalf of the faculty, I present to you these scholars and ask that they be pledged and admitted to the degrees to which they are entitled.
Do you promise faithfully to observe and loyally to maintain the statutes, customs, privileges, and liberties of this, your university? Do you solemnly promise to conduct yourself in all things loyally and faithfully to the honor of your university, the encouragement of learning, and the good of your country? These.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the legislature of this province, and with the consent of this university, I admit you to the degrees to which you are entitled, and invest you with all the powers, rights, and privileges pertaining to such degrees. I charge you to use them for uplifting of the whole people, to inspire the human spirit, and for all who believe to serve your God, and to pursue more steadfastly whatsoever things are true. Please be seated.
Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of Professor Douglas Miller, I present the following graduates for degrees in the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, David James Edward Bond. June Cheng Barron. Elizabeth Malika Davis. Peter Roman Drompreris. Michelle Patricia Ham. Deanna Lynn Hockley. Brad Jared Holinsky. Victoria Holmon Lam, receiving a Doctor of Philosophy and a Doctor of Medicine. David Lee Lancaster. Floriane Corinne Marie Lanal. Eric Walek Liu. Craig James Markin. Mahua Maulik. Jungsuk Park. Nikhil Raghuram. Einat Ravid. Matthew Varkey. Leanne Willits. Jungwo Yang. Eminent Chancellor for the degree of Master of Science, Heather Krista Armstrong. Aliyah Baluch. David William Chapman. Roger Krutzi. Kennedy Ann Dennis. Julia Jean DeVos. Iona Gabachia. Bibaswan Ghoshal. Daniel Patrick Hallahan. Jason Kwakho Lee. Candice Michelle Nasik. Julian Nunes. Mohammed Hossein Salahiyar. Vaninder Kaur Sidhu. Megan Keeley Wagner. Xiaoyang Yu. Eminent Chancellor for the degree of Doctor of Medicine, recipient of the Mosher Memorial Gold Medal, the Douglas Leach Medal in Pediatrics, the Dr. F. Lloyd Roberts Scholarship, and the E.U. Cooter Memorial Prize in Surgery. Zachary David Gunther with special training and research.
Zachary Gunther is this year's recipient of the Mosher Memorial Gold Medal, awarded by the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry for outstanding merit in all studies in medicine. Dr. Mosher joined the Faculty of Medicine in 1914 as professor and first head of the Department of Physiology. This award was endowed by the Voluntary Overseas Medical Officers Association of Edmonton in memory of the late Lieutenant Colonel Herbert H. Mosher, commanding officer of the 11th Canadian Field Ambulance, Canadian Army Medical Corps, who was killed in action in France in 1918 at the age of 29 while on leave from the university. Zachary is here today holding first ranking in his graduating class with a Doctor of Medicine with special training in research. Zachary's dedication to his academic studies has earned him 4 Louise McKinney Awards, as well as the Misericordia Hospital Trainee of the Year in Radiology and Diagnostic Imaging Award. His research history includes outstanding work in the field of radiology and diagnostic imaging, including a focus on pediatric ACL injuries. Congratulations, Zachary. Well done.
Hector Noel Aguilar. Jennifer Alana Ash. Nicholas Andrew Avdemiritz. Heather Marie Babcock. Andy Baines. Raveen Joseph Bastian Pillai. Kristen Elizabeth Beefer. Michael Stephen Belowski Samariva. Michelle Angela Bischoff. Simon Malcolm Bowe. Gurkirti Brar. Ikenna Lindell Brown. Robert Louis Brunel. Stephen Anthony Burt. Brandon Kai. Aisling Elizabeth Campbell. Nathan Carpenter. Eric Joseph Catoni. Recipient of the Dr. Ernest A. Johnson Prize in Ophthalmology, Helen Chung with special training and research. Miranda Ray Clark. Marcelo Orlando Crespin. Alyssa Vera Cruz. Debraj Das with special training and research. Shannon Chelsea Dean. Scott Ivan DeGraff. Kevin Mark Desmarais. Christopher John DeSuter with special training and research. Kimberly Yongpeng Ding. Selena Rochelle Dobing with special training and research. Victor Chengyu Dong. Stéphane René Doucet-Préville. Michael Ross Dreger with special training and research. Cindy Xiuqin Du. Lillian Ju. Andre Aaron Anthony Duguay. Mark Allen Dykstra. Melissa Nicole Diamond. Alyssa Andrea England. Amelia June Ethier. Rochelle Marie Findley. Kyle Mason Fisher. Daniel Karke Falk with special training in research. Thomas Riel Goodine. Grenville Fran Gracias. Rachel Elizabeth Greenwood. The recipient of a W. Downs Prize in Physiology, Sahil Gupta. Natasha Marie Hayduk. Adam Michael Hall. Andrew James Halliday. Jonathan Robert Hamill. Anam Harun. Emma Hayderi. Stephen Jared Hitchin. Shane Frederick Haber. The recipient of an E.W. Cuter Memorial Prize in Surgery, Ryan Scott Hoovey. Wendy Gwen Howry. Rebecca Joy Howes. The recipient of an E.W. Cuter Memorial Prize in Surgery, Nathan Ying Ho Hoi with special training in research. Sharon Husak. The recipient of an A.E. Bowie Scholarship in Medicine, Andre Isaac. Samantha Jocelyn Jang Stewart. Nisha Jeer. Christopher James Capusta. Recipient of the Mewburn Memorial Medal in Surgery, John Francis Keegan. Christina Elizabeth Kettenbach. Erin Michelle Kahn. Andrea Elise Kokatailo. Christopher Jarrett Coral. Kimberly Faye Kruger. Thara Justine Kumar. Jocelyn Ceylon Lai. Michael Patrick Lai. Christopher Fan Lay. Caroline Elizabeth Lee. Cindy Lee with special training in research. Patricia Ann Lee. Stephen Bouquet Lee. Mackenzie Catherine Lees. Recipient of an E.W. Cuter Memorial Prize in Surgery, Max Alexander Levine. Recipient of the Francis Norman Follis Memorial Award in Medicine, Tina Chen Liang. David Arnold Lickness. Ling Ling. Rachel Yelena Linky. Scott Richard Linton. Cindy Liu. Jonathan Wing Chu Lee. Stephanie Suzanne Liu. Yang Yu. Brian Joseph Lowen. Richard Brian Lowe. Danielle Nicole Lowe. Andrew Ka-Ming Ma. Kelsey Marie McLeod. LaDonna Lee Majot. Raymond Mack. Neil Malhotra. Megan Alicia Manning with special training in research. Sarah Catherine Marcotte. Alexandra Anna Markovich. Kevin John Martell. Nora Faye Matthews with special training in research. Matthew Steve Mazurik. Justin Miles McGuinness with special training in research. Tara Ray McGrath. Christopher James McIntosh. Paul Eric McKenna. Didi Metu. Larissa Muse. Daniela Brianne Milarezi. Brooke Leona Miller. Graham Brody Mulholland. Cody John Nelson. Michael Ney. Recipient of the Alberta College of Family Physicians Scholarship, Jameis O'Brien. Jamie Darren Olison. Robin Dawn Palmer. Rohan Sujay Parab. Neil Charles Parker. Ambika Parmar with special training in research. Christine Alice Pask. Carmen Genevieve Pittman. Dawn Margaret Renee Poisson. Nicholas Carmine Pompa. David Edward Oipon. Recipient of the Raj Kumari Singh Memorial Achievement Award, Ivan Pukhovsky Sheremetyev. Matthew Kimber Primrose. Imran Raghavji. Recipient of the J. Ross Vant Prize in Obstetrics, Malika Ramji. Recipient of the Isaac and Leah Wineloss Prize in Surgery, Kyle Jameson Rogan. Tasha Rudsky. Michelle Ashley Rule. Medika Sam. Alyssa Ray Sans Regret. Recipient of the Kahn Memorial Medal in Obstetrics and Gynecology and the Dr. H. Hepburn Memorial Scholarship in Surgery, Shannon Marie Sarro with special training and research. Jenna May Sherman. Anna Sedlakova. Joel Whitney Semenak. Claire Deanne Seymour. Salma Shivji. Alicia May Slade. Ekaterina Slivko. Misha Snopkowski. Tanis Sitter Spencer. Mandeep Singh Sran. John William Staples. Logan James Steed. Jarrett Brock Stevenson. Eric Lee Stilling. Lindsay Nicole Sutherland. Noah Jacob Switzer with special training and research. Zachary Tan with special training and research. Rani Tao. Kirit Ta. Rory Alexander McLeod Thompson. Kevin Winfu Tok. Inka Allison Toman. Clara Karkin Sang. Recipient of the Dr. S.S. Spanner Prize in Psychiatry, Roy Francis Ulrich. Victoria Yonglin Ung. Jesse Colombe Ursenbach. Hina Vahidi. Sana Vahidi. Trian Van. James Joseph Van Camp. Jason Andrew Vaz. Recipient of the Rose Bogoch Prize in Ophthalmology, Sebastian Quinn Vro. Darwin Felix Wan with special training in research. Lena Wang with special training in research. Rachelle Brianne K. Westover. Russell X. Wong. Jaden Ronald Wright. Yuan Zhen Zhang. Ivy Zeidhoff.
Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of Professor Douglas Miller and Professor Paul Major, I present the following graduates for the degree of Doctor of Dental Surgery. Dawn He, recipient of the Alberta Dental Association and College Gold Medal.
Dawn He is this year's recipient of the Alberta Dental Association and College Gold Medal awarded to a graduating student for outstanding merit in the final year of the dentistry program. This award is donated by the Alberta Dental Association to recognize excellence in dentistry. As a result of his scholastic dedication, Dawn is graduating from both a Bachelor of Medical Science and Doctor of Dental Surgery with distinction. His academic accomplishments have been recognized over his years at the U of A with awards, including the Harry Alexander Gilchrist Prize, awarded for the highest achievements in didactic and clinical prosthetic dentistry. Aside from his studies, Dawn is highly interested in underserved youth. Congratulations, Dawn. Well done.
Oleg Valentin Bergovi. Alyssa Lynn Biasini. Rita Yusuf Kalati. Justin Douglas Comfort. Blair Alexander Day. Jacob Christian Day. Courtney Charles Dirksen. Jen Hester. Dennis Huynh. Jonathan Rodney Jans. Rakun Jung. Salman Giovanni. Renee Kristen Lamoth. Samantha Nicole Lee. David Leone. Stanislav Pavlenko. Julia Pestova. Lan Huan Fan. Harinder Rai. Stephen David Barkhouse Rich. Michelle Andrea Samosinski. Recipient of the James McCrutcheon Honor Award and the Dr. James Zimmerman Scholarship, Dena Marie Sawchuk. Recipient of the Canadian Academy of Periodontology Prize, Glynis Margaret Sharp. Erin Jung Jenny Shim. Adam Daniel Sire. Danielle Jolene Tingley. Trang Win Mi Vo. David Min An Vu. Edward Bernard Wolfs. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of Professor Douglas Miller, I present the following graduates for the degree of Bachelor of Medical Science. Amandi Hoi Ting Chung. Kent Raymond Mark Saber Defoe. Jeremy Francis Kubik. Kelsey Andrea Rolifs. Kimberly Ann Watson. Mitchell Patrick Wilson. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of Professor Douglas Miller and Professor Fiona Bamforth, I present the following graduates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Medical Laboratory Science. Danielle Marie Meunier, the H.B. Collier Memorial Gold Medal recipient, graduating with distinction.
This year's recipient of the H.B. Collier Memorial Gold Medal in Medical Laboratory Science is Danielle Mounier. This award is presented annually to a student convocating from medical laboratory science on the basis of superior academic achievement. Throughout her academic career, Danielle has received various awards and scholarships, including U of A's Academic Excellence Scholarship and U of A's Scholastic Distinction Award, Dean's Citation in Science. Danielle is also an active volunteer for Canadian Blood Services as a recruiter for new donors. Danielle is seeking admission into medical school. Congratulations and good luck to you, Danielle. All the very best.
Dylan Bostad Thomas. Elizabeth Jean Bolt. Nai Yan Chan. Lindsay Ann Christopher. Victoria Ashley Dudich. Sean Gerard Gallant. Rebecca Lee Gould. Sabrina Ann Hannon. Recipient of the University of Alberta Hospital's Laboratory Medicine and Pathology Staff Scholarship, Tasha D. Lindsay Hart with distinction. Recipient of the B. Motel Scholarship, Jill Leanne Kolkman with distinction. Olena Krupa. Chelsea Michelle Kwasny. Oana Raluca Maris. Recipient of the Medical Laboratory Science Research Scholarship, Hilary Claire McDonough. Christine Thuy Win. Davita Monica Wu. Emily Fung. Jason Eric William Rapps. Danielle Brittany Shimko. Monica Helen Sliz. Carolyn Villeneuve. Jennifer Yao with distinction. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of Professor Douglas Miller and Professor Sharon Compton, I present the following graduates for degrees in the Bachelor of Science Dental Hygiene Specialization. Natalie Zoe Arnold. Brittany Marie Branter. Jennifer Bursey. Carmen Emily Chan. Melanie Yingxue Chin. Ramneet Kaur Gill with distinction. Kimi Kaur Cabra with distinction. Sherry Ann Lickfold. Kayla Brooke Matheson. Janelle Carolyn Mesquita. Julia Nicole Posterero. Laren Marguerite Schmidt. Lindsay Katina Setter. Jessica Ann Sinclair. Lynn Thomas. Marianne and Choris Chu. Kathy Tran. Sengchu Ville Wong. Brandy Beth Walsh with distinction. Jocelyn Tania Wolf with distinction. Regina Wu. Grace Carmen Young with distinction. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of Professor Douglas Miller and Professor Sharon Compton, I present the following graduates for the Diploma in Dental Hygiene. Nadine Appelt. Jenica Page Barfus. Stephanie Barron. Nikki Boyko with distinction. Casey Lena Marie Chimera. Recipient of the Dental Hygiene Medal and Prize, the College of Registered Dental Hygienists of Alberta Gold Scholarship in Dental Hygiene, Alex Kelinda Clark with distinction. Brianne Sarah Coulter with distinction. Zlata Delonovic. Arlinda Eklund with distinction. Omar Jamil El Kadri. Ashley Megan Garretts. Christine Kaur Gill. Stephanie Elizabeth Hamelick. Karen Ann Heesing with distinction. Kira Danae Johnson. Han Lee. Brittany Caroline Logan. Taryn Jean Lister. Lindsay Rose Mahay. Brittany Mallette with distinction. Ashley Dawn Miller with distinction. Don Fernand Rafol Montojo. Julianne Elizabeth Mullen. Amy Joyce Ng. Linda Wynn. Hasiba Niazi. Chelsea Ray Niebuhr with distinction. Alyssa Lynn Olson. Jessica May Paisley. Michaela Adele Primo with distinction. Mohammed Sarhan with distinction. Olivia Page Schneider. Alyssa Jane Marie Schultz with distinction. Amanda Shum. Christine Tong with distinction. Jamie Rebecca Trujan. Jamie Visser. Shelby Lynn Weston with distinction. Rochelle Marie Wild. Elaine Wong.
Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty, I present to you the remaining scholars whose names appear in the Convocation program but who are not in attendance today. A round of applause for them too, please. Yep, got it. Okay. Yep. Okay. It is now my pleasure to ask the graduates on behalf of the university. I present to you, Eminent Chancellor and the President, the graduates of the Doctor of Medicine degree, and ask them to declare their graduation oath. So the MD graduates will only reply and follow along with their program with me, if they would. The University of Alberta Medicine graduation oath. I ask that the graduates of the Doctor of Medicine degree please stand. And follow with me the swearing of the oath. I do hereby swear this oath before my friends, colleagues, and family. I will endeavor to provide the highest quality of care for my patients. I will provide information enabling my patients to make decisions and recognize their right to accept or refuse medical treatment according to their own values. I will never exploit my relationship with my patients and their families, and I will treat them with dignity and respect. I will protect the privacy of my patients. I will interact in a considerate manner with others providing patient care. I will not tolerate discrimination. I will not engage in medical care when I feel it is unethical. I will henceforth remain a student that I may expand and refine my knowledge, skills, and attitudes. I will recognize my limitations and seek aid when my expertise falls short of my patient's needs. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor in the noble traditions of the art of medicine. Please be seated. Thank you.
I ask that the graduates of the Doctor of Dental Surgery and Dental Hygiene degrees please stand. Eminent Chancellor and President, I present to you the graduates of the Doctor of Dental Surgery and Dental Hygiene programs and ask them to declare the graduation oath. This oath I take upon my honor. We'll start again. This oath I take upon my honor, having been admitted to the professions of dentistry or dental hygiene before this assembly in accordance with the tradition of Hippocrates. I will use my professional knowledge and skills in service to human health by promoting health and healing and reducing suffering to enhance the well-being of those entrusted to my professional care, acting responsibly to gain understanding of patients' needs, maintain ethical confidentiality, and provide respectful, informed counsel and care, willingly sharing the art and science of my profession, supported by a commitment to lifelong professional learning, committing myself to the development of my professional skills to the perpetual objective of providing excellence of service to patients. Please be seated.
Wow, wasn't that a great morning? I think you'll agree with me that having 410 Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry students graduate today is impressive. Today is a truly proud moment for the University of Alberta. In total, we will graduate 6,756 students this spring convocation. Now, according to my rough calculations, that represents approximately 270,000 courses completed and 811,000 classroom hours. Now, if every student actually did the average 3 hours of studying outside the class for each hour in class, of course, all of you did more than that, we would have well over 3.2 million hours in total devoted to earning the degrees completed this year. Amazing, isn't it? Now, all those hours represent a lot of time. Time that you might have devoted to your family and friends, to cleaning the house, to doing the laundry, walking the dog, paying the rent. Time when your parents and families had to pick up the slack while you were otherwise engaged. So graduates, it's your turn to get up, turn around, and give a huge round of applause to all the people who supported you. Parents, spouses, partners, children, siblings. Okay, now that I have you all back with us, it's time to turn our attention to the final part of today's ceremony. Graduates, today you irrevocably become part of the U of A family. I know you will do us proud and will join with the tens of thousands of alumni who have gone before you and do your part in uplifting the whole people. Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry graduates, it is now your turn to honor the great tradition established 100 years ago at the U of A. Make your mark as Medicine and Dentistry's centennial class. Before we formally induct you all into the University of Alberta Alumni Association, we want to remind you of the journey you have been on to get to this ceremony with the presentation of a special video montage for which the words also appear in the back of the program. The song that accompanies the video, Je te retrouve, or I Remember You, was commissioned by Campus Saint-Jean in celebration of the university's centenary in 2008 and is performed by Chorale Saint-Jean under the direction of Laurier Fagnon. It was composed by Professor Emeritus Dr. France Lavassier-Ouimet and arranged by U of A alumnus Dr. Alan Bevan, and captures the hopefulness and potential of days spent at the university. I hope that the images that will accompany the song show some of your own particular story and bring back fond memories of the time you spent here. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Eminent Chancellor, Madam President, friends and family, new graduates. I am new in this magical place that most of you grew up in. I am gray, apparently, on camera, and you are not. They were first, and I'm last. But I want to talk to you just a little bit as we close and take the prerogative of the Dean about what I'll call the courage of the early morning. I read a book when I was 12 on Canada's centennial called The Courage of the Early Morning about William Avery, or Billy Bishop. Billy was born in Owen Sound, Ontario in 1894. And after an inauspicious youth, at the age of 20, having been caught cheating at the Royal Military College on a final exam, being on record as the worst cadet ever in the RMC's history, Billy went to war, and by the age of 24, the age of many of you, he'd engaged the enemy in 170 air battles over France and had 72 confirmed kills. He fought often against the Red Baron, Manfred von Richthofen's flying circus. He was one of the World War I's leading aces. They fought together only once and both survived. Billy was awarded the Military Cross, the Distinguished Service Order, and the Victoria Cross, one of 71 Victoria Crosses awarded in World War I. A total of 7 Albertans have won the Victoria Cross, which often is given posthumously, as you probably know. There have been no Victoria Crosses awarded since 1945. Billy Bishop served his country proudly from 1915 through 1918, when an average lifespan of a rookie pilot was 11 days. His battle tactics were to gain altitude on the enemy, to fight with the sun at his back, and like Wayne Gretzky, to shoot where the opponent wasn't. It is said that Bishop possessed the great situational awareness of all ace pilots. But despite that gift in later life, the heavily decorated and much feted Bishop ran a Toronto to Muskoka airline into bankruptcy and lost a fortune in the 1929 market crash. He had a bit part in a 1942 Hollywood film starring Jimmy Cagney called Captain of the Clouds, playing himself an RCAF Air Marshal in charge of World War II recruiting. He retired in Montreal and died quietly in his sleep in Palm Beach, Florida in 1956. Why, you may well ask, do I bring this century-old snippet of Canadiana to you this morning? Who today remembers a long bygone war to end all wars? What possibly can this tale have to do with the class of 2013's Convocation? Damned if I know. But seriously, I will rescue this, I promise you. I bring you the abridged story of Billy Bishop's life for 2 reasons, one personal and one professional. On a personal note, as a boy growing up in suburban Montreal at a time of Canada's centennial in 1967, my grandfather helped me to write and memorize a speech about Billy Bishop based on the book. It won me, or us, I guess, an elementary school public speaking contest. And my Grandpa Miller survived 2 world wars, saw the worst of what men can do. My dad, who was too young to serve in World War II, watched the boys take off and land from Trenton Air Force Base, watching them go off to war, being unable to go with them because of his age. These were members of Canada's greatest generation. Our families lost lives in these 2 great global conflicts. I recall their war stories and the strange feelings triggered by reading about Billy Bishop's pre-dawn sorties above the bloody trenches, alone in the cockpit, freewheeling, waiting for the sun's cover, watching for death to emerge at the age of 24 from the clouds. The courage of the early morning is compelling indeed. He made me proud to be a Canadian in 1967, Canada's centennial year. 46 years later, what makes us proud now? We were once nation builders, war heroes, peacekeepers. What will Canada's future be? And how will you, the class of 2013, shape that future? No pressure. On a professional note, I can safely say that there are no Canadian history questions on the MCAT exam. Never have been, never will be. It's a US exam. And quite honestly, I cannot remember taking the MCAT exam, although my wife swears I did, so there's your headline. But I'm sure that most of you have heard the joke about the medical student who, when asked by a fellow healthcare professional what should be done in the midst of an acute medical emergency, said, "I'd call a doctor." Well, unfortunately, you won't be able to go there anymore, doctors and dentists and health professionals. And as my smiling resident, Dougie, who greeted me on day 1 of my residency on the wards of London's University Hospital, said, After tomorrow, you're it. I'm going on vacation. So tag, soon you'll be it too. I will always remember, it's seared into my brain and my adrenergic nervous system, the feeling of being the doctor on call just a few short days after graduating. Sleepless, I studied the ceiling of the call room, checking and rechecking my beeper to make sure it was working, and it began to light up. Admissions, trips to the emergency room, codes, ICU lab values. It, or something that rhymes with it, was certainly happening. It was the real thing, and that night I realized that while I didn't know everything about medicine, I did have what it took to get up, to keep running to the sound of battle, to stand and deliver on the promise that others had placed in me. And then the sun came up, as it always does. I know the class of 2013 will answer the call, serving others with all of their might. Your patients, like comrades in arms, will fall around you, but you will move ahead, ever advancing, never retreating, plugging the gaps in the thin white line whenever duty calls. Next month, for the 35th consecutive year since graduating from Mcgill, I will resume my clinical practice at the Royal Alexander Healey Heart Center and the Mazon Kowski Alberta Heart Institute. I look forward to meeting some of you there before the sun rises, because in the words of William Shakespeare, we in it shall be remembered, we few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, be he never so vile. This day shall gentle his condition, and gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed that they were not here. This, my youngest colleagues, is your time. The time has come for your courage of the early morning. Stay above the clouds, keep the sun to your backs, shoot where they aren't. I'm proud to serve with you. Thank you for your service.
Eminent Chancellor, Madam President, my name is Jason Acker. I'm a four-time alumnus of the University of Alberta, and it's my honor to bring greetings from the Alumni Association. Among your family are Prime Ministers, Chief Justices of the Supreme Court, and a Nobel laureate, as many other outstanding builders, business leaders, artists, educators, and humanitarians around the world. Alumni all dedicated to uplifting the whole people. Today you become alumni of the University of Alberta. It is my honor to hereby welcome you and officially induct you to the University of Alberta Alumni Association. Bienvenue à notre famille mondiale. Graduates, would you please rise? As a new ambassador for the University of Alberta, I call upon you to use the knowledge you have gained here for the betterment of yourselves and others. I call upon you to maintain a lifelong connection to this, your university. As an alumnus of the University of Alberta, be proud of your degree and your fellow alumni. Nurture lifelong friendships cultivated on this campus. Celebrate our university's many successes and recommend it to others. Take part in your Alumni Association's many events and activities. You are officially a lifetime member of a powerful worldwide network of friends and colleagues. On behalf of the alumni, I am very pleased to welcome you to the University of Alberta Alumni Association. Félicitations et bonne chance. Congratulations and best wishes in all your future endeavors. Please be seated.
Graduates and parents, just a few final words of congratulations to our graduates. I know all of us on the stage today understand how you've worked to reach this moment in your life. You've heard three inspiring and many inspiring messages today, but particularly three inspiring messages from Dean Miller and Dr. Chen, Dr. Samarasekera. want to take a moment to try to summarize those in one quote by another famous medical missionary with roots to Canada, which I think in many respects summarizes the messages you heard from Dr. Chen and Dr. Samarasekera. This is medical missionary Sir Wilfrid Grenfell, who lived from 1865 to 1940. He spent much of his career in the wilds of that time of Newfoundland and Labrador. His quote was, "Real joy comes not from ease or riches or from the praise of men, but from doing something worthwhile." And I think that sums up a good life. We encourage you to keep learning and keep challenging yourselves. Seek opportunities that bring you joy and fulfillment, and find ways to give back to your community, which is so important for all of us. Our honorary degree recipient today, Dr. Lincoln Chen, has offered us a brilliant example of contribution and accomplishment and leadership in his profession, and we again congratulate him and appreciate his acceptance of our award of the honorary degree of science. Graduates, the world is also open to you to be leaders. Your hopes and dreams will give your life both purpose and meaning, and they will also become a foundation for our future as a community. And now to close our celebration, I would offer two words to take from this convocation. They're two small but powerful words that resonate in every culture and every language. Thanks and yes. Thanks for all that has been, to all those whose dedication, efforts, values, and sacrifices have brought you across the stage today. And yes, to all that will be, to the opportunities and challenges that lie on the many paths ahead of you. And thanks too to the musical gifts of our superb vocalist, Ms. Jonah Reed, and the outstanding Convocation Band under the direction of Dr. Thomas Dust. And finally, one last thank you to our graduates. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking on the responsibilities of being a University of Alberta graduate, and thank you for joining our family. In most families, we celebrate special occasions by sharing food together, so I invite everyone to please join us for some light refreshments in the main lobby just outside the doors behind you. Graduates, my warmest congratulations. May your dreams take you far, and may you always remain close to your alma mater, the University of Alberta. Enjoy your day.
Okay. Thank you all. Tempo was a little fast.